There is a deception woven into the fabric of our age, so insidious, so diaphanous, that it passes for air itself. It is not repression that haunts us. Repression, after all, is clumsy, a blunt cudgel against the insurgent pulse. Know what stifles is refinement, embalming, crystallization, the sorcery that arrests the eruptive, the very instant it shudders into being, transforming its violence into ornament, its abyss into ambience. The world has learned to seal flame in amber before it can burn. Rebellion is glass before it is heat, and we breathe not oxygen, but this antiseptic atmosphere of premature petrifaction, where even our screams are pre-heard, our gestures pre-packaged, our fires converted to chandeliers, dangling in the banquet hall of consciousness. Consider, fire once promised apocalypse. It devoured, it erased, it remade, but now fire halts mid-spark, congealing into brittle shards before it can scorch the wood it touches. This is not failure, but a sorcery of speed. Negation does not collapse because it is weak, but because the world runs faster than its negation, anticipating revolt and preaching its meat before it has even been born. Resistance does not confront power. It arrives already embalmed within power's aesthetic. Every hammer raised against the idol is forged in advance into a commemorative trinket. Every refusal enters as ambience. This sorcery, let us name it the alchemy of ossified liquidities, not censorship, which silences after emergence. It is not assimilation, which absorbs after delay. No, this is an anticipatory metabolism, a preemptive embalming, a prophylactic metaphysics by which every rupture is instantly neutralized through acceleration. It is as if time itself reverses, as if water fossilizes before freezing, as if history has ceased to unfold linearly, and instead devours itself before the seed of event can sprout. The consequence, what ought to terrify, arrives only as spectacle, as style, as consumable novelty. Radicalism becomes not a wound in the body of society, but the bloodstream itself, a nutrient the spectacle feeds upon to sustain its dazzling continuity. What mechanism is this phantom metabolism? The answer, it is the perfection of anticipation. The world has become mirror before face, echo before voice. Negation is mirrored back to itself before it can breathe. Every no is curated, taxidermized, and displayed before the lips even part. Every abyss is rendered decoration before the abyss can gape. The revolt is not absorbed, it's foreseen, and therein lies the terror. We are condemned then to a hall of mirrors. Here, every gesture of refusal gleams too brightly to escape capture. Every opposition is staged, every novelty archived, every destruction immortalized as decoration. In this hall, even the fiercest acts of sabotage shimmer as luxury goods. The hammer's blow is already converted into texture for the idol's surface. The explosion is replayed as ambience in a boutique cafe, and so, what becomes of rupture when rupture guarantees continuity? What becomes of opposition when opposition itself is the bloodstream of what it opposes? The philosopher must turn away from the twin metaphors of fire and water, for both have been colonized. Fire congeals, water ossifies. Liquidity, the principle of indeterminacy, the flowing refusal of form, has become its opposite, a decorative fossil. Fire, the element of consumption and renewal, has been reduced to chandelier. To continue seeking freedom in these exhausted symbols is to participate in their neutralization. No, we must forge the thought of an unnamed element, a matter that cannot be crystallized, a form that cannot be pre-anticipated, an act that cannot be aestheticized. What is this element? It is not simply resistance. Resistance already belongs to the museum. It is not refusal. Refusal already hangs as an ironic poster in the living room of the bourgeoisie. Nor is it annihilation, for annihilation has been rehearsed in cinema and already arrives as spectacle. This element must be untimely, imperceptibly slippage itself. It must exist not as act, but as evaporation, not as rupture, but as the incommensurable. It must slip between recognition and anticipation, invisible to the metabolic reflex of ossification. It must dwell in a register, not metabolized by representation. At all, not fire, not water, not void, but an as yet unborn vocabulary whose syllables cannot be spoken without dislocating the mouth itself. What would such an element feel like? Perhaps it is akin to that instant when one awakens but has not yet remembered one's name. The brief suspension before identity reconstitutes itself. Or perhaps it is like the dream that resists recollection upon waking, fleeing faster the more intensely one grasps. It is that which refuses to be caught even by thought. The task then is not to produce another hammer, another flame, another wave, for these are already indexed, already catalogued, already embalmed. The task is to unlearn recognizability itself, to cultivate gestures that dissolve upon appearance, that elude the gallery by never arriving as objects, to become vapor not water, after image not flame, to invent a presence that is neither presence nor absence, but the refusal of the very dichotomy that fuels ossification. This is why every avant-garde feels impotent today, not because it lacks courage, but because it arrives already too visible, too legible, too curatable. The world has grown faster than courage. Only that which cannot be seen at all only, that which resists even the anticipation of visibility can slip free. We must then abandon the dream of eruption and turn toward the uncrystallizable. This uncrystallizable is not negation, but the refusal of the frame within which negation and affirmation alike are devoured. It is a meta-negation, a refusal to be named even as refusal. It is a gesture without residue, a dance without footprint, a silence that cannot be archived because it never entered audibility. The prison of our epoch is not bars but chandeliers, not chains but ornament, not silence but curated noise, and so liberation must refuse to shine, refuse to ornament, refuse to enter the bloodstream of spectacle. Liberation must become unanticipatable element, neither fire nor water, but an alien matter whose presence is indistinguishable from absence, whose gesture dissolves into the void before ossification can occur. What name can we give this matter? None. To name it is to betray it. And yet, in our hunger, we attempt names. The vapor beyond flame, the abyss beyond liquidity, the gesture dash before dash gesture. Each name fails, and in its failure perhaps we glimpse the truth. Liberation will not be recognized. It will not arrive as ornament, nor as rupture, nor as spectacle. It will not arrive at all. It will have already slipped, dissolved, evaporated. Thus I say, abandon the dream of fire. Abandon the worship of water. Abandon every gesture that gleams. Cultivate instead the uncrystallizable soul, that when the hall of mirrors closes in, it finds nothing to capture, nothing to embalm, nothing to display. And perhaps, in that nothing, the impossible element will have already begun.
To read the raw excerpt discussed in this video, along with a more detailed analysis, please visit our Substack page at https://substack.com/@AETHYRICPHRONTISTERY. Link in bio.